I came across this particular video by one of the most respected bishops that have passed on in Nigeria, Bishop Benson Idahosa.
If Nigeria doesn't want to go together, we divide it together. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But I'm glad to tell you it's going to go together. Our prayer will join it together. Our faith will join it together. Our God will join it together.
I couldn't find out the year he made this video or the year they recorded this video, but I believe it's more than 20 years. Now, this is my point. What led him to say this must be the situation of Nigeria then. So, if Nigeria has been in this situation for over 20, 30, 40 years ago, that is to say that we are trying the same thing and expecting different results. Because this is what we have been clamoring. Let us push, let us pray for Nigeria to get better, let us do this, let us go and vote. But it seems that we are just repeating what will not work. Absolutely nothing is working. Because all our effort during the election, let us go and vote so that we could change the leaders. At the end, your will not count in the ballot box because they have their own way of manipulating the people's will with the people's vote. So I am thinking deeply about this. What are we going to do as a nation that can bring a political revolution and change everything for the interest of the people?
Buhari! 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 Buhari!
The greatest deception could be found in Nigerian politics. When Nigerian politicians will be campaigning, they will be saying all sorts of things that is far from their mind. They only speak what is in their lips so that they will get the interest and emotions of the crowd, of the electorate. But they themselves knew that what is in their mind is totally different. They have it in mind on how to please people who are going to rig election from them, the electoral umpire, INEC, who are going to do all sorts of illegality for them. They know what they have in mind. After campaign, they will still go to do what they want to do. And that is why they don't regard people. Our leaders are after the next election, not after the future generation. Dr. Miles Moreau said about this when he was talking about leadership and politics.
Don't ever believe that a politician is a leader. Don't ever believe that. Because the system that we have produces politicians. It doesn't produce leaders. And so you can have a politician who knows nothing about leadership, and he's leading you. Politicians are concerned about the next election. That's all they're interested in. That's why they cannot be leaders. But leaders are different. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. I want you to compare those two thoughts the next time you have a politician come to your house wanting to vie for your vote. Just ask him, what is your vision for my children? I will sit and listen for 20 minutes for you to tell me what it is. He will leave your house because he has no interest in your children's children. His concern is to stay in power, to keep the position, to win the next election. This is why they cannot lead. When you are going to have a conversation with a politician, you should actually try this as a test. You, by the way, as a citizen of a community, you have a right to be seen by the mayor. I hope you know that. If you voted for a mayor, the mayor works for you. Therefore, you have a right to see him. You can make an appointment to see any public officer you voted for. Did you know that? That's your legal right. If he don't want to see you, you can take him to court. That's democracy. So I want you to make an appointment to go and see your mayor or go and see your governor and just sit and say, I want 30 minutes with you, sir. And ask him about that list right there. Sir, what is your purpose for being in leadership in this city? What is your purpose? The first question will make him very nervous. Second question, what is your passion for our community? he'll be wondering what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I just want to build roads and bridges and provide jobs. No. What is your passion? And this is why we need to question the leaders we have. And so I have a little thought here. I call it politics versus leadership. Let's talk about it for a second. Number one, politicians focus on programs, not vision. Number two, politicians' priority is securing the next election, not securing the next generation. Their focus is different. Number three, politicians are preoccupied with promises, not purpose. What we need is statesmen, stateswomen. We don't need more politicians. A statesman is an interesting human. A statesman thinks of the next generation.
Wow, amazing. This is an excellent speech from Dr. Miles Monroe. I think every politician is supposed to listen to this message because everything he said is just what politicians normally do. Now, after the 2023 general election in Nigeria, people are now concerned about 2027. After all, some persons have started talking about 2027. So, the life we are going to live from now till 2027, it does not concern them. What concerns them is 2027 general election. So, that is why it is important that we as followers, we are going to do everything possible to make our country to become better. I know that some of this problem is also from us, we the followers, because we are glutinous. We beg, no matter how a leader come out to convince people. After speaking, people will still come out and say, we still have to eat. Bribing and corruption has eaten us like a cancer. And that is why when a politician starts spending before the election, start doing all sorts of things, spending huge amount of money, the question is, how much is this person going to get after the election? So if a politician could not campaign without bribing people, doing all sorts of things, it is a pity, because when you collect the money from him, definitely you have collected the infrastructure, the road that they're supposed to tie, the human capital development. The man is going to pay back the money he borrowed to campaign. So on the part of we followers, I think for us to keep Nigerians together, as Bishop Benson Idahosa said, we need to play a major role. A role of checkmating these leaders. A role of making sure that we will not present ourselves as cheap, hungry fellows. Because their own interests, they are happy when they see you poor, when they see you hungry, because they can just give you a penny and buy your will. That is a dangerous thing we must understand.
Many of us from the north are famed for cattle keeping. And when you are driving the cattle through different grazing grounds, the cattle believe that you love them so much because you protect them from the elements, because you protect them from other wild animals. But if the cattle were to know that you are the one who would end up eating them, they would treat you very differently. Invariably, they do not know. And therefore, you will continue controlling them the way you do, and you will continue eating them the way you do. But it's a totally different case when you are leading human beings. They are not like cattle. You may lead them in a particular direction. You may think that you have lulled them into a false sense of security. You may think that you have deadened their minds. But always remember that one day, if you don't do that which is good and right for your fellow men, there is a day of reckoning. There is a day of reckoning, and history has demonstrated that it can come in the twinkling of an eye. History has demonstrated that kings have been toppled. History has demonstrated that presidents have been removed. History has demonstrated that great men have been cut down. History has demonstrated that men can rise when they are misled. History has demonstrated that men are indeed capable of rising up. You know, I always read these words of the American Declaration of Independence because I love them. They apply to humanity. Before America became what it is, they had enlightened man. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are born equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable right, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it is for this reason that governments are instituted amongst men, and that when those governments fail to perform, it is the duty of those people to rise up and to remove such governments.